Hello there. Tonight's shave, we're going to be using Kramperts' Finest Frostbite. Now, this particular soap is a prototype of a new soap that Brian from Kramperts is coming out with. Within the next week or so, it's probably going to start hitting the shelves at Kramperts. And from the I've shaved with this soap once before, and from the results that I have got from this prototype soap, it's going to be an awesome soap. Now, I need to say a few things. First of all, I won this soap in a piff. Brian realized that he was fixing to receive the final production version of this soap, and he had been shaving with this for a couple of weeks. And he said, what I have left, which is quite a lot actually, I'll piff to the first person that answers this thread and says they want it. Because I got the new production stuff coming. So he says, I probably won't be using this anymore, so I'm going to piff it. So I won the piff. I was the first person to respond. So this soap was not given to me to test or to do a video on. Matter of fact, I think it makes Brian a bit nervous that I would do a video on it, probably because it's close to the time that his new product is coming out, and also because he feels that this product is not quite up to his standards, which says a lot about Brian. So I paid no money for this, but it was one in a piff. It was not given to me so that I could test it. Brian had no idea who was going to respond to that piff thread first. It just happened to be me, thank God, because it's a wonderful soap. So understand, this is a prototype. It's not exactly like what is coming out in the next week or so, and this cost me no money whatsoever. So, all right. And we're going to use today my Simply Beautiful Pure Badger brush. Now, I took this knot and soaked it in some hot water and pulled the knot out and re-drilled the handle a bit deeper. And I've sunk this knot down to about 45 millimeter in the loft. But it's a Pure Badger brush. It's a cheap, you can find them on Amazon. Just Google Simply Beautiful Pure Badger. It's a $13 cheap badger brush, but I actually like the thing a lot, especially at this lower loft setting. So, and I found this little mug. I'll show you later. It's got water in it now, warming up. It's ceramic, but it's basically a soup mug that I found that I thought was really cool. So I bought it, and I'm using it for a shaving mug. Hope everybody's been doing okay. Been enjoying the forums, and most particularly, believe it or not, the Facebook communities really well. I know there's the Google Plus has got some that I go to too, and I love them as well. But I've been really enjoying places like Razor and Brush and the Big Shave and the Frugal Wet Shaver and the Shave Mug Society. You know, just really cool members, really cool pages, Facebook pages, just having a good old time. And mentioning the Frugal Wet Shaver also. Mentioning that, and mentioning the fact that this soap was a piff, and it cost me nothing. I want to shout out to Stephen West, who basically, I think, created or opened up, or whatever you want to call the Facebook page for the Frugal Wet Shaver. Can't get much more frugal than this. A little $13 Pure Badger brush and some shave soap I want in a piff. Now the scent of this soap is something that Brian said is the biggest thing that was a change in the soap when it comes to why this soap didn't make it and remained a prototype. And it's just he wanted to tweak the scent a bit. I think he wanted to put more menthol in it. It's got a wonderful menthol level in it right now. But the scent is like of course you got the back note of menthol that's always present in a mentholated soap. It smells like it might have a bit of camphor in it as well. It's got a spearminty, pepperminty kind of vibe going, but it's not like, gee, you know, I just popped a stick of spearmint gum in my mouth or something. It's not like that at all. It's actually got something else in the background. I know that the Frostbite aftershave, which I've never tried, but it's supposed to have a frankincense note a lot. Matter of fact, if I read the description, if I remember the description correctly on the Kramperts site, he basically said, I want to cram all the frankincense that I can into this aftershave because I like frankincense, something to that effect. So that might be the little back note. There's a lather coming off of that. This soap is rather thirsty, which is a property of soaps that I really like. A lot of soaps, if you put a lot of water in them, they get thinner, which is not a big deal, but they get thinner. This soap, you can load it up with lather and it still stays nice and thick, or you can load it up with water rather, and it still stays nice and thick. But in my experience, the amount of water that a soap has in it is that's better. What helps to determine how much slickness you're going to get out of that soap. Now, assuming the soap has an inherent slick quality to it, the way to bring it out is going to be with water. And so, the ability of a soap to handle water being thrown at it, how much water it'll take and still hold up, is something that's really important to me. It kind of defines the difference between a lather that'll work and one that is superior. And this lather, in my estimation, is the latter. It's a bit more superior because it does hold, it takes and holds water really well. But that shouldn't come as any kind of surprise. The soap is manufactured by Siphon-Glot. Let me dry my hands. Which is a well-respected soap company that gets high marks on the forums from those that have used it. So I'm using my JR Torrey 9/16 Barber notch. The thing about these smaller razors, you kind of have to rinse them a bit more often. Well, that's not a big deal to me. They, I like them. They're really maneuverable. The soap is, you get 6 ounces of soap, and I think that's a lot of soap. I know the only one that I know that gives you more in a container, and I could be missing somebody because I don't know every soap out there. But I know that Katie's Bubbles gives you 8 ounces of soap in a container, but 6 ounces of soap is quite a lot of soap. This container is quite heavy, and considering that Brian shaved several times out of this container before I got it, that says a lot about the amount of soap you get. That's always a plus in my book. The more the merrier. I nicked myself here. I wasn't paying attention and my hand moved a bit the wrong direction, and that's what you get when you do that. So my friend Styptic Pencil and I had to do our little dance so that to take care of that. Pass number 2. The menthol level on this is wonderful. Face is nice and cold. I know that Brian said that they're going to be kicking up the menthol level just a bit. As well as improve the scent more to what he's looking toward. Scent-wise, the scent on this is wonderful, but it tends to disappear once you get it on your face. All I get is a really, really powerful menthol eucalyptus type of, but it's wonderful, and it's got a wonderful cooling. My face is cold right now. I like that. I'm becoming more of a menthol junkie. Every day, it seems. Just don't have a clue. Never had a clue. never had a clue that I would love menthol as much as I do. And this soap is wonderful. It with each successive pass, it just gets cooler and cooler. Quite lovely. In that way, it's also wonderfully slick. If I wanted to, I could literally rinse this off of my face. And I believe that I could do a pass with the straight. And I would still, as long as I had moisture on my face, I would still have plenty of slickness to allow me to complete a straight razor pass on my face. And that says a lot. And I mean, this isn't the only soap that does that, but you know, we're discussing the properties of this soap, and that is a big property, and it's one that I look for in a shaving soap. Get my face wet so that I find that getting my face wet helps me. I can feel whiskers that are left behind. My chin is wonderfully smooth. Just need a slight bit of touch up. Don't really need it right there. But for whatever reason, I'm not as sensitive to an against the grain pass on my neck. As a lot of guys are. I don't get a ton of irritation. I do get irritation on my neck. That's one of the few places that I do get irritation on, but it's always pretty mild. I have to really, really push what I do to get a lot of irritation on my neck. My chin, I can get some nasty irritation on my chin if I'm not careful, but just, let's see, just wonderfully smooth, wonderfully slick, nice close, comfortable shave, 2 passes and a touch up. And I'm going to use some witch hazel as an aftershave. Brian says that the idea of his soaps is that you use the soap and the aftershave both together, and it's meant to be done that way, and then you get the full effect of what he was going for with the soap and the aftershave together. I could buy that. So I have some of his aftershave coming, and I'll just use some witch hazel between now and then. You know, kind of respect the maker's design kind of deal. I think that's important a lot of times too. But don't be afraid. You know, I'm not. If I want to reach up there and get one of my aftershaves on this soap, I won't have a problem doing it. You guys know me. You know, I'll do pretty much just about what I want, regardless. But I want to wait and see what the difference is, because I respect his opinion, and reason being is for the kind of soap that this is, the quality of the shave soap that I got here is wonderful. It's a top-notch soap in my opinion. And this is just a prototype. If this is just the prototype, and he was picky enough that, or perfectionist enough, or however it is that you want to say it, to say, okay, that's not good enough, you know, I respect his opinion if he says that, you know, that he had a plan in mind that, look, you know, the aftershave and the soap, they sort of go together. I want to experience that and see kind of what he's pushing toward or aiming at. So, anyway, this should be hitting the shelves within the next week or so. If you are a fan of Kramperts products, or even if you're not and you're looking for a really nice mentholated soap, I can tell you that my face is wonderfully cold right now, and if he's boosting the menthol level in this soap and you're a menth head, then you're going to want this in your den. Go to the Kramperts website. I'll try to remember to include it down in the discussion or information panel right below this video. All right. God bless you. Thank you for joining me. There we go. Still ugly, but thanks for joining me and being part of the shave. And I'll see you on the internet, everywhere we're talking about shaving. God bless you.